Hello. Hi, y'all. How you doing today? Now, I am really excited about this the information that I have to share with y'all today. So I'm really going to be able to, actually, what I want you to do is I'm going to share this today, okay? And I would really love and appreciate your feedback because I'm going to build it out a little bit more because I want to actually present this at a upcoming conference. Okay. So where did I put those things? Give me a second. You know, I'd be trying to get my life together. Okay, here we go. Hold on, let me put these where they're supposed to go. Copy. I want to I already pushed it back 30 minutes. I didn't want to do that again, so y'all gonna have to bear with me, okay? Ooh, and Twissa, if you come in here, girl, I got to get you those baby shower games. I'm gonna do that as soon as I'm done with this live, okay? Hey, keep it techie. How are you, sir? Somebody interviewed you last night, right? I thought I saw your name on something. I have to go back and look at that. You've been on a few people's channels, I see. You're getting around there. Hey, Professor Black Ops. Okay, I'm gonna have to get that off of there right there. Gotta get my slides together. I'll be with y'all in a minute. Just hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do it like this. So if Doc West was looking at these slides, he'd be having a seizure by now because they're not. I'm telling you, everything has to be dress with this person, okay? And I'm like, I just ain't got time. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. I am going to share my screen. Now listen, I know that both of y'all are good, okay? But you know, if you're listening on the replay or you know you're just coming in here, you know, I'm gonna need y'all to not get in your feelings, okay? Hey Kareem, how you doing? All right, okay, I'm about to share my screen. Hold on. Okay, so that's there. So I think I gotta move this, okay. Second, that's not what I'm doing. Over here. And start from the beginning. All right, let me come back here. Share. All right, here we go. Now I'm gonna pull my other screen up. I'm gonna keep it here. All right. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna go through this. I'm not gonna be able to see if you're commenting while I'm doing. Or cannot. Maybe I can do this right here. Oh, yes, I can. Let me move it. Let me just move it over here. going to be looking away from you though because my notes. All right, there we go. There we go. Try this layout right here. Nope, not that one. Oh, there we go. I like that better. Okay. So, y'all, okay. So I really, really, really want your feedback as I go through this, okay? Because this is important for a thing I have coming up. So the war against hackers is over. They won. All right. Now, why in the world would I say something like that? Okay. Well, it's because of two things, right? It's there's something called the Zeigarnik effect. I don't know if you all have heard of the Zeigarnik effect. Okay. But what that is it's a phenomenon where you are unable to you're unable to move forward with something if you feel like you still have something to do. You know, if you have, so for example, you have something on your to-do list for today, you know, oh, I gotta pay this bill before I go to bed tonight, for instance, okay? And you just keep that on your mind, you know, it's gonna bother you. It's gonna bother you until you're able to get that task done. And then you can just, I'm done, I can relax, I ain't gotta remember it anymore. It's like a weight off your shoulders, okay? You'll see it a lot in restaurants. Okay, when these waiters come to the table, they're not writing down anything and they're taking the order of the 10 people around the table. It's like, how in the world you remember all that? Okay, but they remember it, the really good ones, they remember it because of the Zeigarnik effect. Okay, it's going to stay top of mind until they take care of it, right? So the way you break that, the way you say, okay, you know, this is done, everybody got their food, I don't have to remember this anymore. Hi, Edwin. You put a period on the end of the sentence, okay? So for me to say the war against hackers is over, they won. Okay, so now it's like, now what, right? And let me tell you where I got this from. On Netflix right now, there is a, can y'all hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. This is on, right? You guys, let me know if you can hear me before I go on. Yes, okay. Hi, Candaisies, how are you? Oh, okay, so on Netflix, there's a documentary right now called White Boy. Listen, if you haven't seen that, go watch it, okay? It's about white boy Rick, all right? But at the very beginning of that documentary, the attorney says, the war against drugs is over, drugs won. I had never heard anybody say that, never. And I'm like, damn, she is absolutely right. So now what, right? So it's like, now what do we do? Okay. So that's why I titled it this way, because I need a clean slate. I need a fresh start. Okay. I need our minds, you know, to get there. You understand? Okay. All right. And we all know this, right? Perception is reality. No one of us knows exactly what the hell is going on. All we know is how we perceive things, okay? And the way we move as everyday people and as cybersecurity professionals is based on our perception, okay? That's just what it is, right? So a good way to demonstrate that perception is reality. Let me show you some ads, okay? Let me show you some ads. Now for this one, this is a seat belt. These are seat belt ads, okay? And as we know, seat belts are a safety feature in cars, right? Now, what do you see here? These ads are telling you something about this particular safety feature, all right? First of all, it works, is what it's saying, okay? And it makes you feel like, okay, maybe this is something I need to do. I love the one with the skeleton, because that's telling me, listen, if you want your spine to stay intact, you better put on that seatbelt. Okay. I mean, you know, so these are very good pictures about this safety feature. Plus, it's not about the seatbelt. It's about you. It's about this lady in the seat, invented by Volvo in 1959, in fashion ever since. You know, you're cool and you're you know, thin and modelly, you know, if you wear a seatbelt. Here's this girl in the middle here. Never give up until they buckle up. Okay, when they're tuning you out, right? Because it's about your children being safe. You see what I'm saying? This is genius marketing to me. All right. Now let me show you this next one. I typed in cryptography ads on Google, okay, which is a security feature. This ain't telling me nothing about me. It doesn't seem like it has anything to do with me. Let me just say that, okay? Well, we know that's not true, okay? Cryptography has everything to do with the way I'm able to navigate the internet. But the way that we are, you know, or whoever, you know, is doing this stuff, we don't present it that way, you know? So, I mean, if somebody looked at this as an ad, it does not speak to people at all. It really doesn't, unless that's your job. Okay, now if this is your job, this may be, you know, interesting to you. But as far as everyday people, it wouldn't be, not like that last ad was. Okay, now let's look at another one. Now, how would you perceive this? Because we're talking about perception is reality, right? I love these. I typed in car alarm ads. Car alarms are a security feature in cars, okay? Look at this one here with the car all twisted up. They're saying, listen, our alarm is so good. Basically, whoever's trying to break into your car, this is what they're going to see. And they can't do nothing with that. Now, the car next to that, there's a chance. But this one, man, you can hang it up. With our alarms on your car, this is what they're going to experience, okay? And look at the one here with the lady in the grocery store. They're saying our alarm is so good, you may as well just take your car through the, it's like you're still in your car. It's so good, okay? And look at this one right here at the bottom, the guy with the symbols. Go ahead, try to break in. Let's see what happens, okay? Again, this is a security feature, okay? It's a security feature. But who is it talking to? It's talking to me, okay? It's talking to me as the consumer, the person who you're trying to convince to get this alarm, okay? This is very good. Because what this is going to do is it's going to say, hey, Cheryl, you like your car, right? You want to keep your car, right? When you come out the grocery store, you want it to be there, right? You know, you don't want people to just come up and arbitrarily take your, what is that, a BMW? I don't know what the hell kind of car that is, that black one here at the bottom. You know, I got a nice car. Yes, I want it to be as protected as possible. So this is talking to me. It's not talking to professionals who make and set car alarms, okay? Now let's look at this next one. I typed in firewall ads. And I really did try to find something that would speak to the person, to say, listen, this is how this feature will make your life easier, okay? That's very hard to find when it comes to the things that we do as cyber professionals. A lot of the stuff I found spoke to the cyber professional, spoke to the person who set fire along, you know, it did not speak to the business or the people in the business or anything like that to show them that, hey, this is beneficial for you, okay? See, Kareem said, looks like a 3 series. And it may, Kareem, right? But you know that, right? But my point is the lay person walking down the street seeing this ad, and I typed in firewall ads, this won't speak to them at all. They'll be like, what is this about? I have no idea, you know? Blue team. I went to Google, I typed in blue team. This is what you get. A bunch of blue and the words blue team. Okay. Cybersecurity team. I actually typed in cybersecurity team, and these are the things that came back. See, I think I told you, Professor Black Ops, we need to get with a marketing firm, okay? Because we do a horrible job of really explaining what we do and how valuable what we do is to the individual and the business. You know, you have selling security features the way car manufacturers do it. Man, that's genius. We got to get on board with that. Like we really do. And this is just cybersecurity. I just typed in cybersecurity. Okay. So overall, absolutely. And I would love to work with the marketing team, like to come up with some really cool things, right? Like really, really cool things. Like those perfume commercials. Those perfume commercials, them things are the hardest because it's about beautiful people. They're very tall. Their hair is blowing in the wind. And, you know, it's like, so what it's telling you is not telling you about the perfume. It's telling you about the experience you will have when you put this on. You're going to grow 3 feet. You're going to get a 6-pack. Beautiful women are going to flock to you. You know what I'm saying? They're selling the sizzle, not the steak. Okay. We need help. Okay. Because the perception, and perception is reality. The perception is that cybersecurity has nothing to do with me. And by me, I mean the consumer, the person, like even the business even, right? Okay. Because we know you talked about last night, Professor Black Ops, that, you know, it's about, you know, the first thing they're looking at is the money. Okay. First thing they're looking at is the money. You know, I'd rather spend my money somewhere. And I think that's because we do a piss poor job of marketing security. I think that's what it is. So it's easy for them to say that. Okay. And it's because of this. This is where I want to move now. You can only solve a problem where it is, right? And the problem that we have here, and I've said this before in my mindset presentation with Blacks in Cybersecurity, but I'm taking a little, you know, I'm just coming at it from a different way. The problem is perception. Okay. Not malicious hackers, not 0 days. Okay. Not people not changing their passwords or, you know, whatever. It's perception. Okay. At the root of it. Okay. And it starts with us. It starts with us. Okay. Now y'all gonna think I'm crazy when I say this, but seeing and referring to ourselves as teams is a problem. Okay. Perceiving ourselves as teams. We got red team, blue team, orange team. You know that color, that team color wheel? I think in the middle is like the white team. I forget how many colors. Purple team. All these different colors. Okay. But they're teams. And what is a team? A group of individuals working together to achieve their goal, which sounds, isn't that what the hell we want to be? You know, isn't that what we want to be? But I see, and I'm gonna tell you why, you know, as we go forward, you're gonna see why I say this. Team mentality is holding us back, okay, from a present future where we no longer idolize and mimic the cunning and skill of attackers to help us do our jobs better, okay? And instead, we move around in response to what's actually going on. Like we're not depending on somebody to do something to tell us what to do in response, okay? Now let me show you what I'm talking about here, because I can show you better than I can tell you, okay? You can't stop something from doing what it's designed or purposed to do. You just can't. all right? If it's designed now, you can hack it, all right, and use it for something else, okay? I have a hammer in my closet over here, and a hammer is, you know, a device that's meant to be held, and, you know, you hit something and it'll, you know, make an impact on whatever you hit. You might hit a nail, you know, or whatever else you hit with the hammer, okay? But a hammer can be repurposed to do other things. You know, I could hold my door open when I'm bringing in the groceries or something like that. You know, it can absolutely be repurposed. Okay. Okay, Kareem, what did you say? And most people who use computers in their day-to-day are not computer people. They just use the app and have no idea what it's doing. Yeah. Security is sometimes reactive. Absolutely. So, you know, it can be repurposed, but just because I use my hammer to hold my door open doesn't mean my hammer stops being a hammer, you know, stops being made for the thing that it was supposed to do. Okay, it still does that. All right. What are teams purposed for? What's the purpose of a team? This stuff we love. I could watch this. I could just stare at this picture on the one with LeBron. I love it. I love it. Because he's very talented. They work very hard, okay? And I think it's now the people on the left, I mean, it's my right here, they lost. Teams win, they practice, they get better, you know, but they practice. Somebody, I mean, you know, unless you're in Little League or something, everybody can't get first place, okay? Teams win and teams lose. That's just what they do. Okay, and we strive to be the winners, all right? Well, let me tell you something. Now, in the definition I read earlier, we know that teams work together to achieve goals. There are two things that are required when you have goals. Goals come with two other things. One thing is trust, and the other one is delegation, okay? Because LeBron can't play all the parts. He can't, okay? Trust and delegation. I'm going to delegate something to you, and I'm going to trust that you can carry that out. Think about any goal that you have in your life. If it's a goal to get married, a goal to buy a new house, a goal to get another job, a goal, you know, to get this certification, you know, you need trust and delegation to help you reach that goal, because you cannot play all the parts that are going to need to go into you reaching that goal. You got to trust somebody with something, okay, and delegate to them something so that you can reach that goal. Those people are your collaborators, okay, right? Now, the way I'm explaining this makes it sound like, okay, so why, you know, so again, tell me again, what's up with what's wrong with being a team, okay? Because what we're looking to do is not to reach a goal. Okay, so this is final, right? So we played the game is over, we won. Okay, now we can start to play another game, all right, and which they will next season, or I don't know if the season's going on now, but you know, whatever. But they're going to play another game. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, and it's going to happen over and over and over and over and over again. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. That's not the business that we're in. Okay, we're in the business of security. Okay. And what is that? Here again, we're going to talk about perception, right? Security is a human right. It's actually in Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It says you have the right to security of the person, okay? And so the whole thing says everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person, all right? That's what the Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says. In 1996, in South Africa, they put pen to paper to state the obvious, you know, the thing that had been obvious the whole time, and they created a Bill of Rights that recognized people's right to security of person, but they combined it with also the right to freedom, okay? This is 1996. I'm not talking about 1875, okay? 1996 is when they did this, all right? So they come, which which goes to all these things about security. It's a human right. It's the empowered feeling and state of being free from harm, and it's experienced as freedom to be secure. Now, let me tell you something. Freedom to be secure. That means the choice is back on me, okay? I'm just being provided the freedom to be secure, okay? Now, we can always be more or less secure, right? At any given, just like we can be more or less healthy. Remember how we talked about that, right? You can always be more or less. So how secure do I want to be? That's for me, to decide, in various aspects of my life. But the freedom to be able to do that, okay, is in the digital world is where we come in. Cybersecurity is the same thing. It's just primarily in the digital world. Okay. So our job is here. Like, this is what we do. Okay. We help ensure people's human right to be secure. We help in organizations, the individuals and the business, be empowered to feel and actually be free from harm so they can do the work they need to do. Think about when you're not secure, even in your own home. Okay, we talked about this. When you don't feel secure, even if you are secure, okay, if you don't feel it, you're going to be very restricted in what you do because you're going to be scared. Okay, you're going to be afraid. All right. So we definitely want to, you can't just say be, you want to feel secure too. Okay. So this is not about winning and losing. Okay, this is not something a team, this is not what this is. And I talked about on Davin's channel when we had our discussion over there, how this is akin to when Columbus came over here, and they claim in the history books that he discovered something that was already here with a whole bunch of people who already had lives and children and legacies and all that stuff. Okay, but he discovered it. You understand? They were missing this. They were missing when Columbus came over, the individuals who were already here in the United States, okay, did not have someone to be there to help ensure their human right to be secure. They didn't have that, okay? And that can very easily happen again in the digital world, in cyberspace, okay? You can have whole discoveries being made in cyberspace, folks already there, okay? And I feel like, part of our job is to ensure that doesn't happen again. Now look at this. You know what that is? So biomimicry is a field of study that I love, okay? And it's where you go to find where we go to we look to nature to help us solve human problems. It's called biomimicry, okay? They have it's a whole discipline channel thing. It's very interesting. So I went there. I'm like, okay, how would if nature, okay, had the issue of that we have in cybersecurity, these various issues, what would they do? Like what does nature do when it comes to this? So this is called murmuration. I know y'all have seen this, when the birds all move together. It's really nice. It's very, very pretty. But it's called murmuration, right? And it's where now this is, what the hell are these birds called? Starlings, I believe. And you'll see fish do this too, right? When they're trying to avoid predators and stuff. So birds, they follow simple principles that empower them to act independently and collectively at the same time. All right, to survive and thrive, not just survive in the moment, okay, but to survive and thrive. All right. One of those principles is that they will align their speed and direction with the nearest 7 or 6 birds next to them, okay? So the birds that are next to me, I'm going to align what I do with the nearest, 7 that are next to me. Okay. And that's how, and all of them do that. Right. So that's how they're all able to just stay, in this, these very beautiful, beautiful patterns. All right. So they're able to sense what's happening around them, then respond really, really quickly. Okay. Now, what this is, y'all, what I see here, this is how organizations can be. Okay. This is how the security aspect of organizations can be, right? To help them to be able to respond and move, when they need to, when it's necessary. And I'm going to talk about how we're going to be able to do that and what the result can be. Now, there's no teams here. There are no teams here. No, nobody's teaming here. Okay. There's no red and blue and white and orange and all that stuff, right? That team mentality is not here because team mentality does not produce this kind of behavior, not this kind of behavior, okay? Now, this typically happens, if you look this up, murmuration again is what it's called. It typically happens when there's a predator nearby, like a hawk or something, So they go into this, and this actually has an impact on the hawk or whatever the predator is, okay? And we're going to talk about what that is, all right? It's akin to shape-shifting. And I forgot who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody. Oh, I think I talked about it last time I was on here. When I talked about how, did I talk to y'all about that? About how the network should be able to, I'm not going to say should be able to, but can shapeshift, but I'm gonna tell you about that, more about that too, okay? So this is the anti-predator adaptation and strategy, right? It's like an intelligent cloud. It's an intelligent cloud, okay? That's moving and responding to what's happening right now in order to survive in the moment and thrive for the future, okay? This is how I envision our networks would be able to move. Okay, and I'm not just talking about artificial intelligence, okay? We can do some of this stuff right now, all right? How do we get to an intelligent cloud? From teaming to murmuration. How do we get there? From teaming to murmuration. All right, I feel like, now this is just not my, I didn't get, goosebumps down my spine and I had a dream and all this other stuff. No. I've done research, okay, and I've drawn conclusions from what I've done. So I really, and we talked a little bit about this on your interview, Professor Black Ops. I feel like we need to have a come to Jesus moment where we really understand the hardware that facilitates communication and sharing. Okay, we need to really get it when it comes to the internet memory and bits. And I say memory and bits because in order for those birds to move the way they move, what was in the background? Nothing. Wide open space was in the background. Okay, they wouldn't be able to move like that otherwise. Okay, if they had buildings and trees and leaves and branches and shit, they wouldn't be able to do all that. Okay, so last night we talked about, like I made a comment in your on your interview, Professor Black Ops, how the internet is made, purposed. We talked about purpose for communication and sharing. Okay, the internet is not doing anything new. All right, it's just expanding what humans are already doing. We communicate. That's what the hell we do. All right. Technology has just made it such that we can do that more widely, more broad. Longer distances, all kind of stuff in different ways, all of that. Okay. It's just enabled us to expand on communication and sharing. Okay. If you take all the controls that are right now on the internet, you just got wide open space, right? You just got wide open. Everybody can see everything. Okay. Everybody can see everything. Who was that who said information wants to be free? Somebody said that. It's like, I think one of those Microsoft dudes. What was his name? I forget. Somebody on Microsoft. But yeah, information wants to be free. So we have the backdrop. We got the backdrop, you know, to do some murmuration. So that's it. So understanding what that is, right? Understanding, and I say this because when I tried to find out what a bit was, if one more person told me 1 and 0s, I was going to scream. I'm like, a bit is not, you trying to tell me right now that I got 1s and 0s floating through my computer right now? Boy, if you don't tell me what a bit is, you know, and they didn't know. They don't know nothing but beyond the 1s and the 0s, or telling me they're pulses, you know. But that's just because that's what somebody told them, or that's what they read, you know. So I really dove into what exactly this stuff was. Okay, I really, really did. And I understand it, you know, in, out, sideways, around the back, up the middle, all that. Okay, I get bits. All right. So that's it. So really coming, so that, and that happens in training and mentoring and all that stuff. Okay. So really a better understanding, you know, before we can move like them birds, you know, we need to understand some stuff a little better than we do right now, because Security Plus, that stuff doesn't go into it like that. Okay. It really doesn't. And I don't think, I mean, computer science may, I guess, but you ain't got to go get a whole computer science degree, you know, type thing. You know, but we need to understand enough to really be able to contribute, you know, and come up with, you know, grander ideas, you know, about security and what we can do for people and organizations. And then this right here. So me and Doc West and his team at work signed up for somebody's doing a CTF next week. I forget who the hell it is. But he did one last weekend with his Patreon team. And they struggled. And he himself said, you know, I don't, you know, how did he say that? He was like, this CTF showed me how much I don't know, okay, about, there you go, shout out to the doc, how much I don't know about software design. You know, I feel like, so we got the hardware part right, but we got to know about what's going on here. And I listened to a podcast today that was really good. Let me see what the name of that podcast is so y'all can go there. It's very good. And they were talking about the software. So this is the steps to the software development lifecycle. Okay. Now in the software development part, right, they were talking about how knowing more about what's going on here would really help if something were to go down. If something pop off, you can trace that back to the various aspects of the software development process, you know, what all went into that, it'll be much easier for us to be able to do our jobs as security professionals, right? Now, I don't know, like I know almost nothing about, you know, what really goes on to this. And Professor Black Ops, you say you look at software stuff and you approve it and all that. Like I would love to be a part of a process like that, just so I can see what the hell like all this is, okay? But I feel like we need to know more, because what I found out, okay, malicious hackers don't give a damn about blue team, purple team. They don't care nothing about RMF controls. Like this is what they're looking at, okay? I subscribe to malicious hackers think like developers. That's what they think like. While we're thinking like them, they think like developers. Okay. So I was listening to oh, let me show you. Let me tell you what this was. This is a really great podcast. Like it really, really is. Let me see. I put it on my Amazon Music. It's called the Cyber Ranch Podcast. Okay. And they have some really, really great stuff. Really great topics that they talk about. I was listening to supply chain security. That's what I was listening to when they were, because they were talking about the solar wind thing. thing. I programmed for 20 years. And Professor Black Ops, I can tell, you know, by the way, the level of understanding you have of stuff, like the answers that you give. I can just tell by your answers, you know, that you have, you know, a really deep understanding about this stuff. And I think that's useful. Insecurity. I mean, like, let's say like my house, right? I can go to, you know, learn about all the different locks I can put on my door, and, you know, what kind of wood I need for my door, or what, you know, what kind of locking mechanism would be, what's harder to get in or whatever, you know, I can do all that, right? But if I know, if I have the, what the hell you call that thing when they draw out your house, the damn plans there, you know, the person who built this, if I had their knowledge, okay, I designed and built the house, okay, as far as securing it, that will get me way beyond knowing what kind of lock I need on the door. Okay, I'll be able to ask other kinds of questions as well. You know, it's not just what I can do, is what kind of questions can I ask, you know, about the, you know, the various ways that something was built, what material it was built with, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Half of your attacks come from OWASP, which is the programming and design. There we go. There we go. And, you know, yeah. And like I said, like, that's who hackers look at. They want to know, what was the developer thinking when he or she or they did this? Okay. What would the developer have done, you know, when they did? So, you know, where can I poke and poke and poke until something gives? Okay. So I think, so the hardware and the software piece, we need to do a much better job on, I feel, as far as learning and practicing. And this is the third one. There is an article that I shared on LinkedIn called Cybersecurity Lessons from an Unexpected Place, Martial Arts. Kareem, that's you, right? Carolyn Crandall wrote this article. She said there's something, a modern Japanese martial art of Aikido, she said, places considerable emphasis on overcoming self rather than focusing on aggression or counterattack. And when she said self, like, that helps me. Self is about your perception, right? It's not about the other person, it's about you. Okay, so it's overcoming this thing we have in our mind, you know, that we're afraid to question, that we can't do anything else, you know, is about overcoming that and seeing what else we can do. And also she talked about, what's the other thing called? Tenkan. It's spelled Tenkan. I want to say Tenkan, but I don't know if that's the way it's pronounced. But it's about redirecting your opponent's attack momentum. Okay, it's like not just standing there and taking it and then punching back. You know how they did, like in the movie The Patriot? The people, they stand, like, it was the gentleman's way to fight war, I guess, you know. So they stand there, one side would shoot, people would go down, then the other side would put the powder in the gun, then they would shoot. Okay, now it's my turn, you know. I'm like, who in the world came up with this concept? I'm telling you. But this is about redirecting that energy. You know, it's like when I talked in BIC, right? You're not going to be throwing no bombs and putting locks on stuff. I mean, you know, when a hurricane comes, when hurricanes are coming, okay, ain't nobody gonna be out there shooting at the hurricane. You know what I'm saying? No, because that's, you know, you don't do that, right? That's not gonna work. Okay, so when malicious attackers and all these machines, they're using it, because it's not, you know, it's not always a human, you know, on a keyboard typing a million you know, commands a minute, you know, trying to crack some passwords or whatever. You know, we have whole computers, you know, working to do this thing. Okay, so when those kinds of things, you know, come against the organization, how can we harness that energy and redirect it into something else? Basically, is what she's saying in this article. I love this article because I think it makes nothing but sense. Okay, so you're neutralizing the attacker's efforts by redirecting what they're doing. Okay, Now, how do we do that? How can we do that? I know we can. I know we can. Okay, but how? But how? And this may be where it's like, you know what? Well, you know, what we're doing seems to be okay for now. I mean, nobody's squawking about it really, you know. Although I believe the president signed something the other day about, didn't you mention that, Professor Blackhouse, about cracking down on Facebook and stuff like that? Status quo ain't gonna work. Okay, it's not gonna work. Not if we're in the business of security, it's not gonna work. Okay, it's not. So we got to do something else. And why do we need to do something else? And again, perception. Okay, the way we talk about security and how people defending stuff. And last night, Davin mentioned, what did he say last night? It's my next slide so I can see what he said. He said, it's not a question of when you will be breached. It's a question of when you find out, is what Davin Jackson, Alpha Cybersecurity, said last night. I was like, preach, brother. Okay. They're already here. Okay. Now, when you find out, that's going to be the look on your face right here. What? What do you mean? Now, what do I do? Now, what the call, listen, the call coming from in your house. Now, what do I do? Okay. What do we do? Starting there, forget about the locks on the doors. Okay. They looking at you, put the lock on the door from the inside. All right. What do we do now? Well, got some ideas. Y'all remember that little girl from Poltergeist? She's looking at the TV with all the snow on it, and she turned around and said, "They're here." That's what this is about. Okay. All right. Incident response kicks in from your practices, right? So here we're going to talk about some of those practices here, right? What can we now? I asked me and my son we went for a walk. I tried to get him out there to walk because since school, is mostly from home, these ninjas don't want to do anything. I'm telling you. Nice sunny days outside, they don't want it. I'm like, Lord have mercy, the corona. Now they have an excuse to just stay in the house, and play games. But anyway, we go out, I get him out for at least 30 minutes to take a walk with me. And I asked him this. If somebody is in the house with us, okay, they're here, they're in here, all right, how do we still stay safe? And that's what it is. Okay, somebody's in here, but the safety and the mission can't stop. Okay, we can't but we still got work to do. So these are some things, right? Be aware and unafraid. Okay, so I, as the person in the organization, I need to know, is somebody gonna tell me that people are here looking over my shoulder? I feel like I need to know, especially if we're trying to say cybersecurity is everybody's responsibility. How is it my responsibility if you know somebody here and I don't? Okay, or if you suspect it, or if you're doing a threat hunt where you've developed a hypothesis that says, okay, we've hypothesized that there are intruders here. We're doing this test right now. We need everybody to be on alert. Okay. Do you know what I mean? If it's the organization, if everybody's responsible, then make them responsible. But if they don't have the information, what do you expect? Okay. Recognize their attempts to engage you. I'm talking about as the employee, okay, and or the network, and you report and you respond. So I see, because of the wonderful training, the bomb cybersecurity team I have at this organization, okay, I see that something ain't right here. And I think, again, last night, Professor Black Ops, I think it was either you or Davin who mentioned many times when these breaches are discovered, it's not discovered by the IT or the security team. It's discovered by like an HR person or something who sees, hey, man, this is weird. Like, why is this program acting like this? Law enforcement is contacted. I feel like one of the main issues that get people to be so comfortable with just sitting at a computer and breaking into a network is that they don't feel like there's any consequences, you know? Oh man, you know, and they ain't gonna be able to catch me, and they're not gonna try. Okay, I'm low level. They looking for APTs. You know, I'm just trying to get a credit card or two. You know, I'm just trying to get something out of somebody's savings account. They ain't looking for me. Ain't nobody checking for me, so I can just do that. You know, I think that's an issue. That's a problem. We Black Fortress their arses. Y'all know what I'm talking about with the Black Fortress? How many of y'all watch Krull? I love Krull. Krull. Remember the Black Fortress? The Black Fortress was in a different place at dawn every day. Okay. Now this is like that shape shifting, right? So the network they break into today is not the one that they're in tomorrow. Okay. Somebody mentioned this. I don't remember who it was, but the wonderful thing about the internet, okay, the wonderful thing about cyberspace that is not, even though it's the DoD claims that it's the 5th domain of war, cyberspace, it's not like the other domains. It's not like air, sea, land, or whatever the other one is, space. Okay, that stuff is what it is. That was here before we got here. It's going to be here when you leave. Okay, now the internet is man-made. Okay, we could shape shift that thing any kind of way we want to. All right, I can have my part over here, you can have your part over there. If I don't like that, I can change it. I can do all that, right? So the Black Fortress them, that's absolutely possible. Work has to remain. Now I'm talking about somebody is in your house. That's what this is coming from. Okay, they're not trying to get in. They're here. They're here right now. So these are some of the things that we can think about doing. I don't know how we would do it, but these are just some ideas me and my son, came up with. Work has to remain uninterrupted, relatively. Okay, while y'all are looking for these people. Okay, now this is one thing. I think he came up with this one. The people in the house are unable to see you and the assets. It's like almost like how Zoom has that blurred vision in the back. I don't know how in the world something like that could happen, but I'm sure it can. I just broke in here, now I can't see nothing. I'm blinded. Okay. And as you try to persist, the longer you're there, the duller your tools become. Okay. When you came in, that knife was sharp. You've been in here 24 hours. You can't cut butter, warm butter with that thing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Access to resources, again, is starved. Okay. And we starting to find out who the hell you are. Okay. And where you're coming. Now, these are just some ideas because, like I said, the safety is priority. Absolutely. But that the mission, it has to continue. I mean, that's why we're here. Right. We're not here to be cyber professionals. We're here so that this business, they have a whole strategic plan, all right, that they need to get done. All right, they need to accomplish. All right. They got goals and monetary goals. If you're in the federal government, you got mission and all this stuff going on. Okay. That stuff has to happen. That's why you're here. Okay. So how can we be more creative in helping that to happen, ensuring that happens? Now let me throw this in here. This was the picture. This thing looks so evil, doesn't it? There's only one. Now I've done more research because y'all know how I feel about hackers and calling ourselves hackers and mimicking the behavior of hackers. Okay, y'all I've been on that for numerous videos. Okay, so I said, okay, how can I refine this? How could I refine this? So there was a research paper that I wrote. It was a research paper about hacking, and it did not make a distinction between malicious or ethical. It just said hacking in general, including when we talk about this, we're talking about ethical hackers and malicious hackers. So many of the attributes were the same. a lot. I mean, you know, people just they like the excitement of finding things, you know, they like the, you know, the excitement and feeling like, you know, the accomplishment of actually repurposing something, right? Getting in somewhere. You know, when y'all do these CTFs, I told y'all, I mean, you know, it's like your eyes light up and, you know, the angels start singing from the heavens, and you know what I'm saying? It's like a wonderful feeling. Oh, it's a whole what the hell is that chemical you get that makes you feel high? It's a whole high. If you have that kind of personality and you like that kind of stuff, you just gravitate to that kind of thing, which is fine. I mean, do that. Okay. But if you're a cybersecurity professional, is what I'm saying here. I'm like, okay, so from all this stuff that I've seen, that I've, you know, that I've read, you know, people that I've talked to, I see one difference, just one. And this is the difference that makes a difference. Okay? Just this one. Cybersecurity professionals who specialize in pen testing and hacking, their goal is to fail. That's the difference between the ethical hacker and the malicious. The ethical hacker's goal is to fail. Now, why do I say that? Okay. What I mean by that is, if I'm an ethical hacker and I fail at what I'm doing in this organization, that means y'all are doing something right. And I'm proud as hell. I'm proud of you. Okay. Because I'm one of the best. I'm one of the best. I can't break nothing. I can't penetrate. I can't own anything. I try to persist as long as I can. Y'all kick my ass out. And I'm loving it. Okay. I'm doing my job. Okay. Which means if my goal is to fail, because when I fail, that means your security is better. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That means we are doing the thing. We're doing a damn thing, okay? Now, but that means for me, as the ethical hacker, the pen tester, I gotta be on my game, okay? I can't wait for some malicious hacker to do some shit and then copy and you know, try. No. I can't. No. We're gonna have to go above and beyond that, okay? We got to go above and beyond that. All right. So I need to be better than that, okay? Because the goal here is for all of us to rise, okay? It's not about me coming in, breaking some stuff and bragging about how wonderful I am. And nobody, you know, I can get in any system, you know, I don't care how, you know, I'm that good. I can just get into any, you know what I'm saying? No. I mean, you can do that, but that doesn't seem to be the mindset of a cybersecurity professional, okay? Because what you want to do is to come out and say, you know what? You got me. I can't do nothing. You know, and there's actually a channel on YouTube where these guys, I gotta remember what it is, but I loved the conversation because that's exactly what they were talking about. Okay. And they were talking about, you know, they didn't get like super specifics on what the people did, but they were saying, you know what, this was just wonderful. You know, I was so excited, you know, that this thing that I do at almost every organization always works, but here it didn't. I mean, they had their stuff together. Okay. The only difference, you hear me, ethical hackers and pen testers, okay? You want to fail. Your goal is to fail, okay? Because that murmuration picture of all them birds working together, okay? We all have to work. I mean, we're doing this together. I can't have, you know, people on the outside. There's already people on the outside, okay, testing the system, trying to see where the hell they can get in, whose goal is not about seeing you succeed. They don't want to fail, okay? Which is why I say it's the only difference. A malicious hacker does not want to fail. They want to accomplish that thing, okay? But when the goal is failure, there you go. Now you're in cybersecurity, okay? Because we're working with the blue, we're working with the whole organization to move this thing up, to move it forward, okay? Stig life, there you go. I'm working on my Stigs, Professor Black Ops, okay? I'm almost done, y'all. I'm just run through the rest of these, okay? But so the effects, right? The effects of being able to shape shift like this, right? To really start to put controls and strategies in place, knowing that somebody is already here. Somebody's already on the network, okay? Let's stop pretending like ain't nobody here. It's just me and you. You know, we can do, no. Let's stop doing that, okay? Detection effect. Now this is how it impacts the predator. You know, with the murmuration. I probably should put this closer to when I do the birds, but here we go. So this means as what does this mean? Detection effect, group anti-predator increases as the number of individuals in the group. Okay, so this is about the number. So the number of birds in the murmuration thing, right? It's harder for the hawk to see anything, like because it looks like one thing, right? It's hard to pick out one bird, okay, to attack, okay, because all of them together, they're just moving like it looks like one thing, and as one thing, it looks huge. Okay, so it can't do anything, you know, it can't see, it can't detect what's there. All right. The next one is predator confusion effect, which is very much aligned with detection effect. So it's about the constant movement, okay, of the murmuration. Okay. So now I'm totally confused. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I thought I was about to attack some birds, but now I don't know where the hell I am. Okay, I don't know what is going on right now. Okay, so that's another effect of murmuration. Wait, am I missing one? There was another effect, and I think I deleted it by mistake. But yeah, I'll have to put that back in here. So for the business, of course, we have a more secure network. Okay, we have a more secure network that enables the work to be accomplished. Okay, enables. For the profession as cybersecurity professionals, right? We're relevant, trustworthy, and we're clearly have instrumental value to the organization, okay? Which is, again, something that we mentioned last night about really showing how security enables you to make all this money, okay? Security enables you to hire all these wonderful people. It enables you to come here, get on your computer, and start your work. Security enables all that, okay? We need to make that clear, and they will be able to see it for themselves. We ain't got to explain nothing. They see that this is what the case is, okay? And it's a competitive advantage, you know, for commercial organizations. All right. Now, for the person, we get back to security. That whole definition of security, right? The human right. It's a human right. All right. And it gives you freedom to contribute and to create. Okay. I love this picture. I put those ones and zeros in there myself, but I need to find a way to make them look more smoky, you know. But that's the gist of the slides show, or the gist of what I want to talk about. Okay, here I am, back. All right, so that's pretty much, and I think I'm gonna build it out just a little bit more. Like some things are they're kind of choppy, but for the most part, what I'm trying to do is the thing that I did for Vic, right, which was stop thinking like a hacker, you know, all that stuff. I want to concentrate, I want to talk more to the business. I want to talk more to like CISOs and CEOs and stuff like that, because it can't just be with us, okay? Because we're not the decision makers, you know, we're not the decision makers. So what I would love to do, and if anybody in here knows of, or if anybody watching the replay is, you know, a good marketing person, I need to come up with what the actual marketing would look like, okay? the way that the car manufacturers do it. Okay. And I have ideas, but I'm not like a graphic person or something, you know. And I go to Fiverr, but I don't know. I might try Fiverr. Okay. Some of those people are okay. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, but that's it. That's the presentation. So if you guys, you know, if you want to think about it a little bit, let me know in the comments, you know, if you have any ideas about that. But Professor Black Ops, so when I was doing this, right, one of the things I said would be beneficial for you know, for us as cyber professionals is that, you know, people would trust that we can actually do what we say we're there to do, you know, which does absolutely 100% does not mean that the company won't be breached. Like, it don't mean that at all. You know, it doesn't mean that at all, right? But that's not what we're guaranteeing. You know, you come in here, you'll never be breached again. Like that's totally not what we're saying, okay? But just like when you wear a seatbelt, that don't mean you're not gonna die if you get in a car accident. You just die with your seatbelt on, okay? But because that's not what the thing is, right? It's about it's not a zero-sum thing. It's about the risk. It's about, you know, decreasing or mitigating the risk. Okay, that's what we're here to do, because the organization, they tell you what their risk appetite is. Okay, they say, okay, we're willing to take this much. Okay, we're gonna help you do that. All right. Now, when it looks like you about to, you know, get into some territory you said you didn't want to get into, let me tell you, you know, if you do this, if you make that decision, you may be getting into territory that you said you didn't want to get into. Okay, you know, so there we go with that. But so it's not about, you know, guaranteeing anything, right? So Professor, let me know when you're ready to do the zero trust stuff, because I've been watching countless videos. Okay, I've looked at several. I go to, I think it's called ResearchGate, right? Listen, I get my research on now. But I think it could be a really enlightening conversation, right? Like it really can be. And like I said in your chat, in your interview last night, I you know, I have some devil's advocate type things to ask, but and some supportive type things. Okay. But that's all I have, y'all. So thank you so much for being here and listening. And please let me know if you have any kind of comments on what I said. If you just let me know what you think. Okay, or if you have any other thoughts besides what I said, that would be really, really useful for me. And I will let you know. So at the end of the month, April 30th, I'm going to be presenting about cybersecurity for small businesses. I'm excited on the ZTNA, Zero Trust. What is NA? April 30th, I'm going to be presenting at it's like a company that helps startups, and the startups that they help are our IT, right? So it's in Nigeria. So I did one like last month. I had to get up so early. It was like 12 p.m. over there in Nigeria. And for me, it was like 6 or 7 or something. And that's on a Saturday. Who the hell get up at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday? Child, I had to drag myself down here. Network architecture. There we go. I had to drag myself down here. So I'm hoping that, you know, they'll do it at like 5 o'clock at night over there or something. I mean, that'd be early. Oh, Lord. I got a letter from my son's teacher. She said that he's falling asleep in class, right? And I thought, girl, if I had been going to school from home, because they only go to school 2 days a week right now, okay, because they still have that hybrid schedule. But when they're here, okay, they go to their classes, and when they're not in their classes, they're doing something else. You know, like one of my sons, like he's down here, like helping me prepare lunch, or you know, they're playing on their game until the next. So they're constantly activated, you know, when they're not in class, you know, and it's not like that in the building. So they have to get used to that lack of stimulation. Like they're highly stimulated, throughout the day when they're at home, but it's not like that, in the building. And listen, I can sympathize, okay? Because I went to work in the building last week. Was it last week or the week before? Listen, I was in this meeting. Listen, child, you would have thought I hadn't slept in a week. I was so, if I had them there, listen, I was about like this here. I was so tired. I couldn't keep them up. Listen, so I get it. I sympathize with the kids because it's been forever, because when I'm here, I'm doing stuff. When I'm done with my meeting or I'm done doing something I needed to get done by 1 o'clock, whatever, I'm in the kitchen, I'm putting in laundry. I'm just like they are. I'm stimulated throughout the whole day, But for me to go to work and just be sitting there in a damn meeting, like, oh, and you know how they say some of these meetings should have been emails? Because, you just trying to look in my face at that point, you just want to be near me or something, because otherwise this is ridiculous. Ridiculous, okay? I used to help an India team. It was rough. Okay. We're going to talk about all that, Professor Black Ops. But Professor Black Ops, you did so well in that interview. I'm telling you. It was just great. That 3 hours went by so fast, which tells you that you just did. And I see Keep It Techie is about to interview you again, right? Keep It Techie, about privacy. You're just a natural, dude. You're like a natural on camera or something. You really need to like do that more, because you're very knowledgeable and you're like, but the way you present it is not like, what do you call it? You're not full of yourself, Some people know half of what you know, and you think they knew everything. I'm telling you. You think they do every damn thing. It's like, child, calm down. Okay, you calm yourself, please. All right. Oh, but it was great. I really, 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 really enjoyed that. Davin and Keep It Techie make it easy. Yeah, they're great interviewers, right? They make you feel comfortable. Very, very great interviewers. Yeah, I'm in good company. I'm in very good company. But all right, I'm gonna let y'all go. It's 9:44. Thank you again. I really do appreciate y'all looking at all these slides and stuff and ideas that I be coming up with, and I appreciate it. So I will be seeing you all again, possibly on Professor Black Ops channel. We got to set all that up. But y'all have an amazing night and weekend, and I will see you back here very soon.